Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watcher is here with your tropical weather update. Today I'm going to be talking about what has now been upgraded to Hurricane Hilary. Those maximum sustained winds are now about 75 miles an hour. As you can see, we got an eye beginning to develop there right off the coast of Mexico. Deep convection beginning to erupt around the eye wall. Just around the eye right there, that is a sign that this storm is in fact developing, strengthening, and getting stronger and more powerful. As a sign of rapid intensification, it's in waters 30 and a half to 31 degrees Celsius, 88 to 89 and a half degrees Fahrenheit. Very, very warm sea surface temperatures. Give and take that. Remember, we only need about 26 degrees Celsius for a tropical cyclone or a hurricane to develop, and we got well more than that at around 30 to 31 degrees Celsius. So we are watching the fact that we are seeing some deep convection beginning to happen around the eye wall. That is a sign of rapid intensification. Just 24 hours. Now you can clearly see there's deep convection right there. That is something that we're looking for right now. You can see a little over this over the last couple of hours or so. You can see the outflow channel right here, another one right here, and this one right up here. When you have two dual outflow, you're able to bring more moisture in because you're getting the moisture pulled away from the system this way, and is able to pull more moisture in from the water and up through the center of the storm. The more you have of that, the faster the storm is going to intensify, and that is another reason why we're seeing this storm rapidly intensifying. It's over the warm sea surface temperatures. There's about 80% humidity in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. Low wind shear, warm waters, dual outflow channels, so it's only able to breathe better. Basically, it almost creates a suction effect. So when you're pulling away from something, it's going to cause more air to go up through the center. When you're pulling air away from the center, here, you're able to pull more moisture up through from the ocean through the eye. Here, looking at Hurricane Hilary. So this is the tropical storm force wind speed probabilities for Hurricane Hilary. So we do expect this storm to continue to just make its way off the coast of Baja California Peninsula. I do certainly think there will also be some storm surge, but most importantly there will be extreme rip currents for the coasts of Mexico, heavy rain for Baja California Peninsula, flooding, storm surge is certainly a possibility. Right now they think wherever this goes, roughly right through here, they could easily see, by that point, we do think that's going to weaken to about a moderate to a weaker hurricane, 80, maybe 80, 90 miles per hour by that point. Certainly once the storm does make landfall, it's going to rapidly weaken as it moves over the mountainous terrain of northwest Mexico and southwest United States, fall apart, and the remnants of it is just going to produce a lot of rain over California, Arizona, and Nevada. Taking a look at this map, do want to take a look here, zoom this in a little bit. Taking a look up here, you can see the intensity. Some of these, kind of saying that it's going to be a Category 5. That cannot be ruled out right now because of how warm the water temperatures are and because of how the conditions are for the storm right now are so perfect. We do think this is going to reach a Category 4. We could see 130 to 145, maybe upwards of 150 miles an hour. We do expect this to be a very powerful Category 4 hurricane at its peak. And now it will not be over land at that peak, it will still be over water, but those effects will be felt across the coast of Mexico and Baja California Peninsula in the form of rip currents. Taking a look at its track, again, this is generally where it's going to be going, right up through here, and making landfall here in the northern portion of the Baja California Peninsula, and moving straight up north into Southern California and to Nevada. Also taking a look at the deep the shear is actually going down. What the shear does is it just kind of you have the eye from the lower levels to the upper levels is all up and down straight. When you have shear, it tilts it this way or this way. When that happens, the storm just falls apart. They like to be standing up straight. If they're leaning over, they're just going to completely fall apart. Now, with the sea surface temperatures, there you go, about 30 degrees Celsius right there. Over the next couple of days, really going to relatively stay the same, and then just kind of rapidly drop off as it goes into significantly colder waters. And again, the relative humidity is about roughly about 80% or so. That's going to relatively stay the same for the next several days. But really, once we get into the 20th of August, that's when we're going to start to see the humidity levels begin to drop off and see more dry air. And so we do think we'll see more dry air intruding into the storm. At that time, the storm will be quickly dying off because wind shear will go up, sea surface temperatures will drop off, and wind shear or relative humidity will also fall really quickly. Taking a look at the, this just basically shows us the ensemble forecast for Hurricane Hilary. As you can see here, over the next 72 hours, we do have a high forecast in around 72 hours right there. That's where we have, where we think it's going to have its intensity. So we do think that there is a good chance we are going to see a major category 4 hurricane off the coast of Baja California Peninsula. More than likely, we'll see tropical storm force winds in that area. 72, 84, 90 hours out, we do expect to see tropical storm force winds, and certainly hurricane force winds are going to be just right off the coast. And so we do expect that tropical storm watch there in Baja California Peninsula to, over the next several days, eventually be upgraded to a tropical storm warning. Hurricane watches are very likely. Hurricane warnings are also possible for those areas, depending on how strong this is by that time, where it's at, the intensity, and where the dry air, and really where all these different variables are going to be at that time. It's really what's going to depend on when and where those hurricane watches and warnings do take place, if that even happens in the first place. But as of right now, we just have tropical storm watches, and about over the next 48 to 72 hours, tropical storm conditions are possible. Again, taking a look at these different models here. Again, they all really say, it's going to go generally this area. Some of them are saying, into California. Some of them are saying it's going to completely miss California. But nonetheless, there's still going to be heavy rain as those outer bands are going to move into Southern California. Into the Los Angeles area are definitely possible. So heavy rain, gusty winds, flooding is likely since y'all haven't gotten much rain, and also dealing with the pact. Depending on how strong this is, possibly an isolated tornado or two cannot be ruled out. Tropical cyclones, you gotta remember, you got heavy rain, you got flooding, you got strong winds, and you can also deal with tornadoes. You got inland flooding and you got saltwater flooding. Inland or freshwater flooding is going to be heavy rain. Okay, that's what's going to be freshwater. And then saltwater flooding is going to be things like storm surge. So along the immediate coastline, where you get that immediate storm surge, is where it's going to be your saltwater flooding. And you also can get freshwater flooding on top of that from the additional rain coming down. And then also taking a look at the, again, more, the ship's forecast for Hilary. Again, the maximum intensity potential. And now it's really at its greatest for it to be at its, as it is intensifying. Sea surface temperatures are, again, about 30 degrees Celsius, are going to stay for the next couple of days, day and a half to 2 days. And then it's going to slowly taper off over the next several days. Looking here for the heat content, kilojoules per square centimeter. That's 1,000. So we're seeing what looks like 28,000 joules per square centimeter. So there's a lot of oceanic heat content in the atmosphere right now, or in the ocean rather. There's a lot of unstable, there's a lot of energy in the atmosphere ready to be used up by this hurricane, and that is what's happening. And as that energy, as this water evaporates, it condenses into clouds, we'll get thunderstorms, we get convection, and the energy is released in the form of wind and rain. Again, these are the models. The black is the GEFS mean, so the average, and the red is a deterministic GFS, so what it's going to determine, where we think it's going to go into Southern California, into Nevada, freaking Idaho, and even Montana. But generally, just remember, we think these are two major tracks where it could go. Off to the left, where it could just go right off the coast of Los Angeles, or just right into Southern California that way. Now, regardless, either way, there's going to be heavy rain because there's still going to be, it's still going to move in that area. If it goes this way, it's going to have the wet side, and it's going to be pulling the moisture into Southern California and Northwest Mexico. If it goes straight up, it's still going to bring all that moisture that it had with it right into Southern California and the Southwest United States. And so, really, this is just going to produce a lot of heavy rain, and because that part of the United States has been so hot recently, so dry for such a long time, the ground is hard, the ground is not able to soak up a lot of water at once. It needs to happen very slowly, not drastically, not like 40 inches of rain in just, 36 hours. That would cause a flood, and that is what we're worried about, that flash flooding. So I do very, very well expect flash flood warnings to be issued across this entire area of Southern California and southwestern United States. Because of how hot it is, the water simply is just going to run off because it's been so hot and so dry for such an extended amount of time. We've seen temperatures in Phoenix, Arizona. We're in Phoenix, Arizona, in southwest United States, 120, 125 degrees Fahrenheit. Death Valley, California, obviously a big one, 128 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and so that's certainly going to be an issue that we're looking at, is as this moves in and produces and drops all this water, is where's this water going to go? The ground hasn't seen any rain for about a month. Okay, it's been about 31 days, I think, since they got their last actual accumulated amount of water. So that's what we're looking at with this hurricane. Right now, this is what we're looking at. Again, watching this this blow-up of convection there on the east side of the storm. We see this. This is a sign of rapid intensification, and that's what we're looking at. I actually am going to go over to the National Hurricane Center. It's the wrong one. That's the National Weather Service. There it is. Again, there's Hurricane Hilary. These are the key messages. I do want to talk a little bit about what key messages we could be looking at with this system. What we're looking at right now, it has the potential to bring significant impacts to the Baja California Peninsula and portions of the southwestern United States this weekend into early next week, including after it becomes post-tropical. Although it is too soon to determine, interest in these areas should monitor the progress of Hilary and updates to the forecast. Tropical Storm Watch is now in effect for southern portions of Baja California, and additional watches and warnings will likely be required later today. Heavy rainfall associated with Hilary may produce areas of flash flooding and result in landslides over portions of the Baja California Peninsula from late Friday into late Sunday. Rainfall impacts from Hilary within the southwestern United States are expected to peak on Sunday and Monday. Large swells from Hilary will spread northward along the coast of southwestern United States and the Baja California Peninsula for the next several days. That being, you're going to have big rip currents. So, yes, surfing would be nice in that area, but swimming would be very, very dangerous. Surfing would be a much safer choice. So that's what we're looking at. Again, it has become a hurricane. Maximum sustained winds are 175. Excuse me. I saw 120 kilometers an hour first. That's why. Maximum sustained winds are 75 miles an hour, 120 kilometers an hour. Present movement is west-northwest at about 13 miles an hour. So about average speed between 10 and 15 miles per hour. The air pressure is 982 millibars. Now, what is significant about this right here is 982 millibars is generally a lot lower. We're usually seeing in the 990s still, already in the low 980s. So we already think that the storm that number is going to continue to rise with the wind speed, and that air pressure is going to continue to drop in. So a tropical storm watch is in effect for Baja California, Sur Mexico, from Cabo San Lorenzo southward Cabo to Baja, California, Sur Mexico from San Isidro southward. So that's what we're looking at with this. And if anyone has any comments, questions, or concerns, go in the chat or go in the comment section. Feel free to comment any questions you have. Links will be in the description below. If you want to join our Discord server, feel free. You get to talk to myself and other team members who are part of the Hurricane Watch team about any kind of weather-related questions, and we will answer those questions at any time. We are also looking for team members, graphic design, people who are interested in graphic design, on camera, weather enthusiasts we're also looking for people like that who want to be part of the team and talk on camera. Also going to be doing live streams if you're interested in that, and also social media managers to help make your posts more available to the public. That is going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Hurricane Watch team, your source for cyclone information. As always, take care, stay safe, peace out.